Hello, and welcome to the Tradelands Helming Guide. In this guide, you will learn the basic terminology of helming, wind mechanics, and some rudimentary positions for skirmishes. Ship terminology. There are many parts and terms to sailing ships. We will only cover a few for this guide, but they are some of the most important terms, as without them, you might not understand the proper way to move a ship. The first terms are port and starboard. These are just ways of saying left and right. Port is to the left, and starboard is to the right. Another two important terms are the bow and stern of a ship. The bow is the front part, and the stern is the rear. Keep these terms in mind as you progress through this video. Wind direction. Wind direction is a vital component as it dictates which way a ship might be moving. Located between Perth and Fenwick is a physical rock, which is nicknamed Wind Rock. This is the center point in which the wind revolves around. Depending on the direction of the wind, your ship will travel one of two directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. The wind will change directions between clockwise and counterclockwise every 3 days. This is indicated by any outdoor flag. Examples include Nova Balresca, White Crest, and on any ship. Sailing ships like to move with the wind, so it's good to keep an eye on which way your flag is pointing when you're sailing. Generally, your ship will move fastest when going straight downwind, so keep the flag pointing towards the bow of your ship. Trade routes. Trade routes are one of the biggest components of Tradelands. There are many trade routes that one can follow. However, the most lucrative one at the time of this video is the Big Triangle. This route goes between Nassau, Salem, and Harrisburg. Trade routes become more profitable the longer distance you go, which is why the Big Triangle is the most popular route, balancing time and distance. There are dangers with longer trade routes, however, as pirates may attempt to intercept trade ships, steal cargo, and sink the ship. It's best to travel with multiple people to deter or fight off pirates when trading. Sometimes, you may also see Navy patrols, such as Nova Balresca and White Crest. Navies have the goal to sink pirates, protect traders, and generally keep the Grand Isles safe. However, it is not guaranteed that a navy will be patrolling at all times, so make sure you always have some round shot in your ship's storage. Ship movement. There are many different ships available for purchase from the shipwrights. Each ship has a unique statistic in regards to speed, rigging, health, turn rate, armaments, and more. For the purposes of helming, we will discuss the movement aspects of the ship. A ship reaches top speed when the sails are pointed straight downwind. As the ship turns away from straight downwind, it loses speed. This is best seen with square-rigged ships. Some ships are designed to move crosswind, while losing the least amount of top speed possible. This rigging is called junk and lateen. Junk and lateen ships are able to move crosswind at the cost of less downwind speed. Ships come in many different sizes. However, we categorize them as small, medium, and large ships. Larger ships tend to have the most health and armament, but are the slowest in speed and turn rate. Large ships are great for brawling and can deal a lot of damage if positioned right. Small ships are easier to maneuver, but have less health. A small ship can sink even the largest of ships with a master helmer, making small ships a great rogue type for hit-and-run tactics. Medium ships are somewhere between the two and can serve many purposes. While not able to brawl with other ships or able to punish the mistakes of other ships, they make great support ships and can change the outcome of any battle. Some ships come with engines, and some only have engines. These ships are slower and require coal, but have the most health and a primary weapon that can destroy many ships. These are called ironclads and are a completely separate category in Helming. Wind tilt. Any sailing ship will tilt when moving. This is called wind tilt. Wind tilt is always present as long as the ship is moving. Wind tilt has the least effect the closer you are to straight upwind or downwind, and is most impactful when your ship is moving crosswind. There are 3 terms regarding wind tilt: positive tilt, negative tilt, and neutral tilt. Let's say the wind is going from your starboard to your port side. Your starboard will have a positive tilt, and your port side will have a negative tilt. This is important, as tilt affects your cannon's maximum range. A ship with positive tilt can engage in an attack on a ship with neutral or negative tilt without being in range of the other ship. You always want to have a positive wind tilt in combat. Wind rotation. As you navigate around Windrock, you'll notice that the wind changes. The closer you are to Windrock, the faster the wind changes. You can use secant lines to predict how and when the wind will change as you navigate around Windrock. Secant lines are a more advanced concept, but can be applied when planning strategies and maneuvers. Cutting and looping Windrock. Cutting and looping Windrock are strategies that help position ships for combat. Looping Windrock is the act of moving downwind around Windrock. Doing so is the fastest method of getting around the rock. However, you will lose your tilt as soon as you cross rock. Cutting Windrock is the act of turning upwind before you reach Windrock. To cut before you reach Windrock, instead of turning downwind and looping, you instead turn upwind. When you cut, it is important that you cut hard enough that your sails end with a positive tilt towards the enemy ship. This is generally more than 90 degrees from your initial vector. A full cut is when a ship performs a full loop and ends up back downwind. Reversing is the act of purposefully going upwind. You may hear the term reversing used in place of cutting. Reversing is moving upwind at any distance from Windrock, whereas cutting is only used close to Windrock. Cutting, Windrock, and reversing are advanced tactics and should be taught and drilled by a mentor. Inner and outer positions. In a skirmish, there are many different strategies regarding positioning. 2 positions commonly used are inner and outer positions. Each position has cost and benefit, which require advanced knowledge of ship comps and maneuvers to fully realize. The inner position is where a ship stays close to rock. The inner position is where a ship stays close to the Windrock. The main benefit of this is that they are able to use the close proximity to manipulate their wind direction faster, keeping positive wind tilt and outranging another ship. This is a good position for larger ships. This is a good position for larger ships. This is a good position for larger ships. Outer position is the area further from Windrock. Benefit of an outer position is that you decide when you want to move and are harder to engage from an inner position. This concludes the Helming basics. If you have further questions, please ask any Helming mentor to give you further guidance and training. Happy sailing!